So I took the guy literally by the throat, lifted him up and said, "Who are you and who authorized this commercial?" And he said, "My name's Dip." And then I took him, I just threw him out. I took the unicorn and I said, "No, you will not do that." I punted that thing right out of the office, and they swore they'd never show that commercial on YouTube again.
Yeah, I mean, that's just something you don't want to show on YouTube again because...
We're recording.
I thought it was a red light when I was recording. Why is it blue? Why does everything have to be blue?
Anyway, hello everybody, and welcome back to another Dark Avenger comic book review. Hopefully everybody out there in the comic Frontline universe has had a great week in comic books. This has been a very spectacular week. The books that we're talking... Okay, I want to make sure you didn't have anything else to say. The books that we're discussing in this review were released on...
July 20th, 2016.
And I'd like to say it's been a pretty nice week when it comes to the comics this week. There were a few number ones. One book that didn't make this review that I didn't have a chance to read that I might read next time, and I'll cover issue 1 and 2 is The Hunt. That comes out of Image. It looks really interesting. I unfortunately just did not have the ability to check that book out, but I do have it in my pile, so I will probably be checking that book out, and at a future date I might review it. There are going to be some extra books that you're going to see popping up on these reviews. We have one book series that we still have to review. We promised that guy now that we moved. We'll have that. And also, our brother recommended Dark Tower, Stephen King's Dark Tower, which Marvel actually puts out every now and again, and there's several volumes of it out already. So we might actually look into some of the old Dark Tower stuff, and maybe I'll do, if we get a trade paperback, it'll be a comic corner. But if we do individual comics,
then they'll
we
be that.
Yeah, they'll show up here. That's just a little side note. But anyway, this review's a night late because we had a nice amount of books, but we had a pay-per-view.
That too.
So it took us an extra night to finish reading all of our books. So we're going to start with the digital books first.
Yep.
While I did not read The Hunt issue number 1, I did read this because I saw it on Mike Spider Slayer's haul.
Same here.
And his thumbnail, and I had to know. I needed to know what was up with Snotgirl issue number 1. I was like, okay. Anytime I see a number 1 from Image, or a number 1 from IDW, or a number 1 in general that isn't Marvel related lately, because you get a headache from Marvel, but you get a headache from other people at conventions also. We won't say any names. Brian Azzarello. So, looking over those names, nobody caught that name, I'm sure. No. Looking over those two companies, though, whenever I see a number 1 from an independent, I always like to give it a check out. I look it over, see if I like it even. And Mike Spider Slayer did a really awesome thumb with it, and I was like, all right, something's got to be up with this book, because Mike's recommended several books to me, and he hasn't been far off with his recommendations. So I checked it out, and I liked it. I don't know why, but I liked it. I did. It was fun. It was a great introduction to this girl who's a model. She's gorgeous and everything, but then she has these allergies, and it's like the cover shows. Snot runs down her nose, and she's it's not the person she is. And you go into her mind, and she has labels for all of her friends, and her friends kind of aren't around. They're kind of jerky also. She makes friends with this other girl whose name completely left my mind, but it won't matter once we get to the end of the issue, trust me. And this girl wants to be really close friends with her. Her doctors change, and this new doctor puts her on this new medication, and she's not used to it, but she goes out with this girl. They go have like a friends' night out at a bar. And the medicine wears off. It's obviously it's a different medicine. So she sees her boyfriend possibly. I love how the book doesn't definite. Like, it's not definitely her boyfriend, but it's boyfriend ? Ex-boyfriend ? Because her boyfriend wanted to take a break. Mm-hmm. And she runs into the bathroom, and the girl chases after her. And the main character's name is Lottie. Lotti.
Lotti.
And this girl sees her with the runny nose, and she's like, I have a funny nickname for you. And remember, the main character's made nicknames for every single one of her friends except for herself. She cannot label herself. And she's like, oh no, please don't make a label for me. And she calls her Snotty. And she kind of gets upset, and then the girl turns around and walks towards her again. Now, she's in the bathroom, and she dropped her pills, and her pills are little round pills. The girl steps on the pill, falls, and cracks her head on the floor.
Ah.
And that's how the book ends. The issue 1 ends.
So now she has runny snot with a concussion, probably?
No. The main character was sitting on the toilet bowl. The girl who was making fun of her tripped and cracked her skull open and died.
Okay. Oh, well.
It was a very abrupt way to end a first issue, but artwork and the story were done in such a really nice way that I'll be back for issue number 2. Image has grabbed me for this. Now let's see if I ever have the chance to read Hunt. Maybe I'll grab that as well. Alright. Back to the Future, Citizen Brown. Issue 3 gets an honorable mention. Why? Because if you played the Back to the Future Telltale game, you already know what happens in Citizen Brown. This issue is about, okay, Marty did something in the past with Doc, and Doc, instead of going to see the movie, which inspired him to, continue with his scientific studies, I believe it was Frankenstein, he ends up going out on a date with this girl that has an interest in him. Changes the entire past to where Doc is he takes over Hill Valley, and it's in a very orderly, different kind of way, and it's up to Marty to reach out to Doc, and Marty reaches out to Doc. Doc starts to question, hey, what's going on? Woman takes Doc away. Everything's upside down. His mom is a drunk. The father's a rat on the mother. It's crazy, and it ends with Doc being taken away, and they're gonna brainwash him, obviously. So what he saw with Marty, he'll never remember, and obviously that's what the girlfriend or the wife has been doing. But Marty is being detained also. Now, I know what's going to happen in the next issue, and anybody who played the Telltale game is going to know what happens in the next issue and the issues to follow. I think there's only going to be about 3 more issues left.
Right.
But, again, if you've not played the Telltale game and you want to see a really nice I guess that's why they're doing Citizen Brown, because Citizen Brown it wasn't called Citizen Brown. The Telltale game had such a nice story to it. Instead of having you pick choices with Marty now, it's more... Well, to tell the honest truth, with the Telltale game also, you kind of had no choice. You could pick any of the 3 options, and unless you pick the right one, the story doesn't progress.
Wow.
So, technically, you could go through all 3 options, and then get the last one being the right one. So, anyway... Yeah, so that's where the book ends. Next book will open up probably with the next one. It's a really nice story. If you didn't play the Telltale game, if you have no interest in the Telltale game, but you like Back to the Future, check out Citizen Brown. I think I spent enough time talking about that.
Yes, you have.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer issue number 29 for season 10. One more issue until the season finale. We all know season 11 is coming. Hopefully Angel and Faith will have a part in that as well. Hasn't been confirmed still yet. So, it turns out that... I forgot what the... Oh, God, his name. But anyway...
Giles?
No, not Giles. Not any of the characters. The guy that got the book in the previous issue.
Oh, I don't remember.
Is unable... I don't think I can pronounce his name anyway. Is unable to write in the book. Why? Because as long as Buffy and the others will it, he is unable to write in the Vampirics. So, basically, now... He's going to take his crew of people, which is the Anya, which isn't really her. The guy that was best friends with... oh, shoot. How did his name leave me? But the other guy that's working with Buffy and a few other people, and they're going to go after Buffy, and it becomes the grand final battle. Because Buffy and all the others are preparing, for this battle to get the Vampirics back. But then here's this guy, he just shows up. And the fight is right in their own home. And I love how it kind of was a repeat of 2 issues ago where he literally ripped their roof up, took the book, put their roof back down, and ran away. And now he's back again doing the exact same thing, except this time he's like, we're gonna end this once for all. Great action in the book. I love how Xander finally, when we saw Anya, I believe that's how you pronounce the name, but when we see her next to the guy... And Buffy's like, is that her? And Xander's like, yeah, I thought I was going crazy and that she was following me around and I was the only one that saw her. And Buffy's like, and you didn't think to tell us? He's like, well, I didn't want you to think I was insane. She's like, friends tell each other stuff like that. But it won't matter. Trust me. I'm going to explain why. So they all get to fight and they try to take out the the guy that has the book. It fails. And then... They try to reach out to Anya a bit, but it doesn't work. Annika? Whatever her name is. I'm sorry, her name just out of my mind. And they're trying to tell the other people following him that he'll kill them. The second they do something he doesn't like, he's going to kill them. It doesn't work, and let's just say one of the characters... Here, I won't even spoil it. One of the characters might not be making it to season 11. It was a wow ending. So I can't wait to see the finale. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issue number 5. Now, this was a really... I guess before we get into the second story arc, it got like an abrupt interruption. And this story is about before Tommy came to Angel Grove. Apparently, before Rita decided to grab Tommy, she tried with another Power Ranger to convert them to be her Green Ranger.
Oh.
So it opens up with them fighting a monster Rita sent in Italy, and Zach was piloting the Zords while Jason saved the president of Italy. And what happens is Zach feels like he didn't get any of the credit, so Rita abducts Zach and tries to basically seduce her to her side, and basically she has the Green Ranger coin. He just has to give up being the Black Ranger. And she'd give him her coin. And she's like, oh, I want the same thing Zordon does. I want the world to prosper. Zordon wants the people to do it on their own. We're not so different. The fight starts. She basically blames Zordon for all the fighting and whatnot. We all know, as fans of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, that's not true. So Zach kind of hesitates for a moment, but then obviously we know what Zach did because he's still the Black Ranger. He turns down Rita's offer. Him and Zordon talk, and obviously Zordon's like, we'll look deeper into this, which apparently they didn't, because not even a few weeks later, Tommy, arrived at Angel Grove and became the Green Ranger. But Rita decides that they're going to go with a blank slate. They're watching Tommy, as a matter of fact, so Tommy's now in Angel Grove. And there's a voice that reaches out to her that tells her that if she takes Tommy, he will betray her. And then that's when this person will make himself known. So I'm guessing this leads into the next issue, which is back in present day. I like the pictures of Zach in the Green Ranger outfit. I like the artwork in the book, and I like how Rita tried to manipulate Zach. It didn't work, obviously. At the end of the book, they had that group time together where everybody appreciates everybody else. I loved it. It was a great book. Bulk and Skull had like a 2 or 3 page mini story. It was okay. Not a fan of Bulk and Skull, so I just read the main story. Usagi Yojimbo issue number 156 gets an honorable mention. I always love reading Usagi Yojimbo. It's a great story. It's a great. I'm really enjoying Usagi. It's a really fan favorite. If you've read or watched the Turtles, Usagi's made tons of guest appearances on there in multiple cartoons, actually, multiple iterations of the cartoon and the comics. I would definitely recommend it. It's a samurai bunny who will kick your butt, and he's full of honor. I love it. I don't know. There's just something about Usagi that I always come back, and I always have and there's always something new to enjoy. This time it's finding a murder suspect. It was really, really good. The ending was really good as well. So.
Alright, we got an ongoing series of Faith, issue number 1.
Yeah,
Lots
she went
of
from
news.
the mini to now the ongoing.
Yeah, this has been really booming news about Faith number 1, actually selling out a lot of copies and everything.
Which is great. Faith is a popular character from
Faith is a
right
popular
now.
character, and what I could say about this book is that what I love about this book is that we get to see her point of view about what it's like to be a superhero, what it entails, what she does, and all this and that. And I really thought that it's a great way to see how a superhero's perspective of what they go through in life. Day working at a place and then night being a superhero. Just skipping all that of just the superhero part, we get to where she's at her job, where her boss knows her identity and one of her other friends who knows who Faith is. Someone from Zipline wants Faith to be in a photo shooting with this guy who's like popular. His name was Chris something. I don't remember what his name was. So she goes to the photo op as Faith, but then in the end it looks like the guy who was supposed to be this great guy isn't such a great guy because he needles her right behind the neck and knocks out. Which means this could go many ways but a really interesting book. I want to read issue number 2 to see how that goes. 4001 AD of Rye, or Ray.
Rye.
It is Rye. Issue number 15. Now in the last issue we saw that this girl, I forgot what her name was like kidnapped by this guy, or we don't know if that's the father's leader. And he tells her that, you remind me of my mother because that's why I have you here, because his mother was a real inspiration to his life. And what he's trying to do is that he wants the Fight Father to take over New Japan. Same thing as what Rai wants to do, which he doesn't appear until the last page of the issue. Mm-hmm. But it's just like a whole big thing of just, trying to beat him and get New Japan. It's just an all-over place in this book. That's the best I can put it for this issue. Really good. Xena Warrior Princess, issue number 4. And Xena, it feels like a while since I've read this book, actually. It's basically just them going against the Romans. And that's what really the book is about. The Romans are trying to take over the whole land of where Xena is. And Xena, being the warrior princess, doesn't want that to happen because she's the type... Like we see a little bit of a softer side of Xena in this book. Along with this girl who she's with... I think she's...
They mentioned they were gonna put
which
no, she's
I
not.
don't...
She's open to everything. That's what Xena is.
Okay, well I didn't know that part because I didn't watch Xena. I just read the book.
They mentioned about her sexuality.
But anyway, looking over that, their plan is just really how to fight the Romans and how to conquer them before the Romans conquer them, because they're big role playing in this book that really needs to be done. But I think they're on their way of facing them. I really can't remember the end because I was actually reading through it, and it's a little bit of a complicated read, but with a lot of dialogue. But I would suggest if you're a Xena fan, you'll check this out. Escape from Monster Island, issue 6 of 6, the last issue
of
Escape from Monster Island. Actually, they did. And I'm going to explain how. Now, you remember the end of the issue where the Cyclops thing came in and, well, we find out that we know who's behind all these monsters and stuff like that. The girl you see on this page that's queen of Monster Island was behind all this. And what she can do is that she can... she's like Mystique. She could transform into anything and then become anyone.
Okay.
But not as strong or as... Because, for example, they went to Monster Island to get the blood of the Cyclops. To basically help anyone who's sick or anyone who is hurt or anything. Because it can recover them. And it actually shows a demonstration in this book of how strong it is. She actually tries to do the form of Cyclops. But here's the thing. Monster Island's about to explode, and they need to get out of there. And the president's not really up for, all this happening. So as they left with the other guy that was by their side, Monster Island was gone. And they have the blood of the Cyclops. Which is really it. And then we see him at the end of the book, which looks like it can probably be another story that can continue. It's the end of the book, but... It could have high potentials of this monster-like guy who could have that story. But I really enjoyed this. And another last issue from Zenescope is Hellchild, issue number 5 of 5, where Angelica now has to come to terms of who to trust and or who not to trust. She trusts her father to an extent, which is Hades, but she's also in this group of... vampires, and she knows that they're trying to manipulate her mind, like trying to control her and everything. She snaps out of it, and what they do to her in this book is really just, my gosh, and how she survived it. She's very strong, this Angelica chick right here in this book, and she fights through everything. She gets to the guy, and Hades gets his way with him, and they try to defeat him, and yeah. So no, we got these still.
I know.
Oh.
I want to just get through
these. With all that said, I would really definitely check out Hellchild, and it's really sad to see this go.
Alright, so let's do the physical indie books just to get those out of the way before we get into the big two. We only have Marvel left after that, and then we go into DC.
Okay.
So, Chew, I think it's better. I was thinking about it last week after watching 350, and it's like, you know what? We only have 3...
Yeah, well now you gotta fix the whole...
Well, you'll fix it. We'll fix it, don't worry. But anyway, I figured we only have 2 to 3 indie physical books. Might as well throw it in between the digitals. So anyway, we've got Chew, issue number 56. This is the beginning of the final story arc for Chew. And what's happening is Savoy is dead. He died at the end of the last story arc. And it turns out that Cho, or Anthony, has to eat him now. Or Chew, not Cho. Cho is his brother. Chew has to eat him now. And he does to get the insight on Savoy. And it turns out that before Savoy killed himself, he filled himself up with beets. And for those of you that don't know what that means, if anything is mixed with beets, Detective Cho being a chipopath, I hope that's how you pronounce it, or a person who can get the memories of somebody he's eaten, his abilities don't work. But Savoy says that there's a way that he's powerful enough that there's a way he can fight through that. And I guess he sacrificed himself, killed himself, to kind of force Chew into learning how to do that. Because now he's got nothing. And what's really cool is bits and pieces of Savoy pop up all throughout the issue. Him and what's his name go on a mission. And it turns out there's this ice guy or this ice cream guy who's freezing a bunch of people. But what's going on is more and more of Savoy is bleeding through. But because of all the beats that are in that are in his system or in his bloodstream before he died, Detective Chew is still having a problem, figuring it out. But one thing that Savoy says is he figured everything out before he died. So there's an actual conspiracy, and the contagion can be that happened can be traced back to 4 individuals, and he knows who the 4 individuals are. But now Chew has to figure out how to do that, and of course he saves his friend. And I love how he's like, but I need more, and there's only one person, and that's Chow, his brother, who can actually what do you call it? He makes like a stew or something. He'll be able to cook up the entirety of Savoy, so he can eat more of Savoy and get more of his, maybe fight through the beats and get more into it. And then it turns out that Tony's boyfriend has like these bad dreams that Earth is doomed and whatnot. So Chew goes over there to bring him home, but to be fair, Chow now has to make him a meal. Savoy a la soup, so to speak. I'm really digging this final story arc. Obviously, it's ending at issue 60, I believe. So we've got 4 more issues, and obviously issue 60 is going to probably be a double or triple size because it's the grand finale. So I'm really looking forward to where Chew's going. So now Savoy's dead, but he's in Chew's mind. And it's going to be really interesting to see how far Chew's willing to go to beat his one weakness, which is beats, in order to save the world and stop whatever is coming. Because something big is coming, apparently.
Alright, now for me, there are 2 Street Fighter books that I'll be reviewing. There's Street Fighter Legends Cammy, issue number 1, and Street Fighter Unlimited, issue number 8. So let's start with the Legends of the Cammy of issue number 1 first. So it's basically a group of teams where you have Genzo, Abel, Jolie, June, and Cammy, who is the leader. And the artwork in here is
I like the
really
cover. The cover shows
outstanding.
the whole team also.
No, it doesn't. It shows 3 only.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's a repeat.
I thought it looked like that too. Yeah, but
that's
the
weird.
artwork-
Let's look at this cover for a second. It's a blatant. Oh, I guess if you want like a virgin feeling cover, you could use this side.
Yeah.
Because it looks like it's gonna connect. It looks like it's a connecting cover.
Thank you. So they're taking out these robbers who are robbing something, but
Well,
one
that's what
character,
robbers do. They rob.
But Junie has this thing where, like, she just spaced out, and like they don't know, like like what happened. Like she was like talking about, like weighing ores and stuff like that. So at the headquarters, they wanted Junie to step down until everything could be solved. And then, Ken was saying that, she should try again. Maybe something was, not really wrong with her. So she goes to the therapist with the whole thing, and she mentions some about Bison. which can be something that could easily see what's going on with her mind, why she's very distracted. So as they're going on a family nightage out, she goes through this again, but instead of just spacing out, she just goes through a whole bunch of people, and Sammy is going after her, and who she meets are these people. In the end.
Sea Viper.
Yeah, there's Sea Viper, Jury, and I forgot what her name was, but man, that was something.
And of course, there's a Chun-Li story.
Yeah, there is a Chun-Li story. Now, arc's a little bit different. It's a little bit okay. We get Morgan.
Darkness! Morgan!
Yeah, Morgan, the Darkness, appears in...
Not the Darkness. She's from a comic called Darkness.
I know. Well, Darkness, yeah. So she appears, and she wants to fight off against Chun-Li because she's the Devourer of Souls.
I'm sorry, I'm wrong. Morgan's from Dark Stalkers. Thank you, wonderful comic book. My bad. And
it's another Versus.
It's gonna be a new Versus. It's coming right out of Udon because both properties belong to Udon. So look forward to this in our physical halls. And that is an 8-issue series launching in December called Street Fighter versus Dark Stalkers.
I might review this for Frontline, even though I don't know.
We're definitely getting it.
You
know we get everything Street Fighter related, so we will definitely.
Well, the only thing I review right now is just the Versus of G.I. Joe and all that. But I really enjoyed this issue. This was like really an interesting issue, especially Junie's character. I can't wait to read more about her because that was really interesting. Now, Street Fighter Limited Issue number 8. There is a tournament that has been going on from Lord Gil that's made this tournament. And we find out about Gil's brother, oh God, why?
His brother, oh God, why,
No, I can't remember what his name is. I had it in my head and then I can't remember. Urine, thank you. Urine is the brother of Gil, and he wants to be the chosen one, but they chose Lord Gil to be the chosen one. And he has all the tournaments and everything. You know, he's just trying to show them that, you know, he turned over a new leaf. We have Ryu versus DJ as Urine is looking on with this. You have Rufus versus, I think, Jaguar, who actually physically kills him, but Lord Gil comes in and actually revives Rufus. So, you know, that was really something. And then we get a whole bunch of other fights that happen, like Alex versus this Goliath person. I can't remember what his name is. You know, but that was like a real physical fight there. And actually, Alex finds something that Urine could be
oh, no, Ken.
in...
No, Ken.
Yeah.
Why is Ken there?
No, where Ken?
Not Ken, I mean...
No, this is a different story.
Oh, okay, good. Because I was about... Not Ken.
That's Charles. Not Charles. Wow. Danny. Dan.
Oh, Dan.
Yeah. So Dan, in the other story, is meeting up with Zagat. And he's going after him because, oh, you killed my father, and I'm coming here for my revenge. And he's trying to get him to fight, but the only thing he said, and I never knew this, was when he said, as long as I draw breath, I will not stop until I have humbled you, just as my father did when he took your eye. Which explains why there's an eye patch. And he's like trying to say, you know, I'm not the person I am before, I'm sorry, and I'm ashamed of that, so you might as well finish me off. But Dan says, revenge is not what I want. All I want is something no one can give. I want my father back. And that right there was really touching to his character. And I was just...
Wow, I got respect right now.
I know, right? I got respect for this character. I mean, he may be cocky and everything. But what he said, you know, revenge, you know, you shouldn't take revenge out on people, even though they've done that. Because he said he's changing a new leaf. And if you're changing a new leaf, there's no way of, you know, revenge is never the answer. That's the whole moral to this story in both real life and in comic book form. Now we're going into
Now
Marvel.
we're in Nova issue number 8. Obviously starting with Marvel. We see that Sam Alexander now, you know, Sam is fighting Mole Monster, which is Mole Man's son. and he gets the help from this unknown superhero to him called the Captain, who has super strength, the ability to fly or whatever. But he's not a registered superhero, and he doesn't fight with the superheroes. He basically stays to himself. And after he helps Sam out, he gives Sam a piece of advice. Because Sam is like, I haven't heard from any of my friends, the Avengers, Captain America, no one in weeks. And he gives Sam the best advice. He's like, you're young, you're just starting out here, do yourself a favor, and get out while you still can. And I like that because all the Avengers have been avoiding him. He has no, unlike another character who gets approached, Nova has no idea what's going on whatsoever. So he goes home and he has this really great talk with his mom saying, you know what? I'm going to see if I can figure out how this helmet works. If I can't, I do exactly what I promised you. I'm not going to be Nova anymore. And it's left there. Obviously, we know that Sam won't be the lead in the new Nova book. Because the Ryder's coming back. Sorry, I got something in my throat. But
Do you need soda?
no, I'm okay. But hopefully, we'll still have him in an Avenger team. I hope we don't lose Sam altogether.
That's it?
Yep.
Alright, well, all these are Marvel also. Darth Vader, issue number 23. Only 2 more issues left until this story ends. I'm just saying thank God for that because I'm just wow.
I just wanted to state that I did look at the new Star Wars book. I don't know why, but for some reason I just... I'm trying to get this out of my throat. It's driving me nuts. I don't know why, but as I'm reading the book and it's about like this group of stormtroopers, I don't know why, but I put the book down. I said I'd get back to it, and I never got back to it.
Alright.
So that's why you guys are not seeing Star Wars. I honestly just... It's not that I forgot to read it. I just got to the point where we were going to do the review, and I hadn't read it. So...
Okay. So now we're going to Darth Vader issue number 23. So like I said, thank God there's only 2 more issues left because I don't know what to think of this book anymore. It's just Darth Vader who's going after the 2 people who were trying to defeat him. That guy with an eye patch and his apprentice or something like that. So, and then we go with Dr. Aphra. I don't know why she's still mentioned in this book because she's going after... Like, she's trying to, like, not let Darth Vader see her because she knows that he'll probably want to kill her in all ways. But he goes after the stormtroopers, Darth Vader. He attacks the apprentice and beats him. But when he gets to that guy, there's one thing he has that Darth Vader didn't know.
What?
And that was a button to get him on his knees.
Whoa.
Basically, like, to shut him down or something. He did that, and I was like... That was the only great thing in the book. Just that part.
Well, we know that Darth
But
Vader...
it was uninteresting because it's like... It's rehashing and rehashing. We know Dr. Aphra's in the book, and her character's getting very annoying, to be honest.
Getting?
With 000 and that other R2-D2-like thing. I keep forgetting. But,
Getting annoying?
I don't know. It's just uninteresting, except that last part of the book. So, yeah. Spider-Man Deadpool issue number 7. Now, when I read this book, I was looking and I'm like, the artwork changed to like classic 1960s, 70s, like? Because I was looking through, I'm like saying, is this the artwork? And I'm looking like saying, yeah. I didn't have no problem with the artwork. The story is basically that Mysterio's in town, and J. Jonah Jameson is telling Parker to get pictures of Spider-Man, who's probably going to be, you know, with this whole thing. So, we see that Deadpool wants to go after this Spider-Man because he's an assassin and all this and that. And Mysterio wants to take over the president's like thing. There's a lot of shapes and forms with these people this week. I don't know why. And then him just saying all these thingamajiggers. So Spider-Man comes in, tries to save the day with getting out Mysterio. And then Deadpool, of course, like not killing Spider-Man, like telling him, you know, oh, you didn't pay me enough money. which is kind of like Deathstroke, really. Because remember how he has to kill and he always has to get paid and stuff like that? I'm referring to a lot of characters. This is really weird. And that's why he's on Spider-Man's side, but not really. He's kind of like this all over the place. But it's a fun read. I actually enjoyed this book for what it was. So I'm definitely going to see what's next in store for that book. And lastly, Thunderbolts issue number 3. And the book says it all. It's the Thunderbolts against the Inhumans. Now, the Inhumans are a very powerful force against the Thunderbolts at first.
Yeah.
But as Winter Soldier is trying to tell them, look, we are not here to fight you. We're here to take out these cocoons that were here and everything. And, with you being here was just coincidence. We just don't want to fight you. We just want to do our mission of that. And the little girl kind of wants to get into a mix of things. Like, I understand
Cause a problem, you mean?
Not cause a problem, like, just try to help out. Like, I understand she's just a child, that she wants to do this and that, but, Winter Soldier's like a father figure to her in this book. And I think that the woman Moonshine or something like that, I think she has something up her sleeve against that girl. And I don't know. I just have this funny feeling. But
well, she did try to kill her in the first issue.
Well, yeah. But overlooking that, she has something else planned that may infect the Thunderbolts team. That could play something as a foreshadowing in the book. But as the other parts of the issues go, I think it was pretty okay, this issue. Not good, not bad, just pretty okay. It's like somewhere
It's not
in the
a
middle.
good book. It's not a bad book. It's just the book.
Yeah, it's the book. Just like Spider-Man, Deadpool's an average read and fun, and yeah.
You didn't get the reference.
I know what you meant. Just go ahead.
Spider-Man issue number 6. It's a Civil War 2 tie-in specifically because of one scene in this book. Now, while Nova has no clue what's going on and kind of has gone back into himself now, dealing with, should I be Nova or shouldn't I be Nova anymore, this book, Spider-Man gets approached by Iron Man. Also in this book, before we get to the Iron Man parts, he's getting used to Fabio being his roommate. Jessica Jones is still spying on, Miles. And I don't know what kind of information she's coming up with, but she's not figuring out that Miles is a superhero, that's for sure. The dad talks with the mom, telling her that her mother has to stop. And to be honest, I really love to hate Miles' grandmother because she's so annoying. And then
You say that all the time.
because I don't like her.
But we get it.
Anyway, there's some funny moments with Gank and with Miles and Fabio, and then what happens is Miles gets a phone call from Iron Man. And Iron Man, so for those of you that are reading Spider-Man but not Civil War 2, Iron Man explains to all of us who are dumb and haven't read the event or have no clue what's going on in the event, he explains what's going on, that there's an Inhuman that can see the future, and him and Carol are fighting over whose side is right. And he even says here that he's foreshadowing that it's going to lead into a fight just like what happened during Civil War, where it was Captain America versus Iron Man. And he's there to see if Miles will be on his side or if he's going to be on the other side. And Miles kind of, he mentions that it's profiling to profile somebody who for something they've done, before they've actually done it. And, Miles taking it as it's playing the race card. I like how they keep mentioning the race card in this book. It's really not getting annoying at all. No. But he basically tells Iron Man, I need time to think about it. And Iron Man, kind of disappointed, leaves. Miles has a really awesome moment with the father. And then the book ends with the mother talking with Jessica Jones. You want to know what happens there, you got to read the book. I honestly liked it. It was a lot of talking heads in this book. Good dialogue. I like that Miles is kind of... See, unlike Nova, who's out because nobody's reached out to him, Miles was reached out to by Iron Man because they're part of the same Avengers team, which was a very short-lived book, like 2 arcs, and already they're kind of disbanding. And Miles already kind of is like, I need to think about this, I don't know. And the father, I like the father's advice. The father's advice is like, sometimes you got to fight for what you believe in. That's the most important thing. and he also told Miles that he should tell his mother about his secret. How that's going to go, I don't know. But that's a tale for another Spider-Man book, not this book. And it was okay. It was a nice read, but again, I hate that they keep bringing race up over and over and over again. If they keep treating this book like, hey, it's the Black Spider-Man book, I'm going to start getting annoyed a little bit. It's like, come on, I want to get good story. I don't need to hear about, hey, it's the Black Spider-Man. Hey, it's the Black Spider-Man. Because they're always profiling that now. And even if they're not doing it through another character saying, look, that's the Black Spider-Man, now they're doing it through racial profiling or finding little ways to sneak in things like profiling to...
just say it's Miles.
That's it. It's Miles. And I wish he would leave it that way. Aquaman issue number 3. I don't know where this book and me are going. Whether it's going to say physical, go digital, or maybe it'll be one of the first books I drop. I doubt it'll be one of the first books I drop. But this book is very, very... Maybe it's just for the first story arc, which is why I'm not judging it just yet. I mean, it could just be for the beginning of the book. We all know books start off sometimes this way, and then they do a polar opposite direction as it moves forward. But the cover says it all. Aquaman and Mera go to the White House because they're not allowed back in the emissary. I like the artwork in the book, I will say that. The artwork looks really nice. I'm not a fan of the cover art, which I believe the cover artist is the guy that did the one-shot with the big noses, which is funny. And basically, they're not allowed back in the embassy, so Aquaman and Mera go to the White House to talk to the president. We get a little bit more about where Black Manta is, and people want to hire him. And I love how the woman's like, you need to let go of your obsession and start using your talents for other things. Aquaman comes to the White House. He doesn't talk to the president. However, he does talk with the chief of staff. And obviously it's a new chief of staff because the other one was against Superman, if you remember, back during the, oh my god, Vandal Savage part. And it's a lot of talking heads for this. About why it's a bad idea to have an Atlantean emissary because Aquaman has a big target on his head. And then out of nowhere, somebody attacks a United States vessel. And they claim it's for Atlantis. Aquaman gets arrested. And yeah, to be continued. Now, I have my suspicions on who the person is because the beginning of the issue kind of telltales it. Although I will be surprised if it isn't him also. So hopefully I'm wrong and I get a nice shocker. But Aquaman basically gets detained because somebody just took down a U.S. Navy ship under the name of Atlantis. So now Aquaman's under arrest. I don't know. We'll see where this goes. But if this is going to be like a straightforward political kind of book where it's all about Aquaman and, you know, the government. I don't know. I don't know. You know. We'll see. Hopefully I'm wrong. Maybe it's just this issue. Now from there on it'll get better. But if it's all going to be about political, like Ace Attorney kind of anime stuff, this might be the first book I lose interest in. Justice League issue number 1. Now, this is not like the one-shot. However, the one-shot did foreshadow a lot of the stuff that happened here. So, apparently there is an earthquake on Earth. The book opens up with Wonder Woman kicking some serious butt. Really nice artwork. I gotta give the book props for the really, really nice artwork. And also the lightning rod that Wonder Woman's using. So, Wonder Woman's fighting, and then out of nowhere there's a gigantic earthquake. And then it turns out it's up to the Justice League. We get, of course, I understand what Jay and everybody else meant now, that this was very JLA-esque, because the book, Brian Hitch, God, please don't do a JLA with Justice League. But anyway, it opens up with a newscast, and you got, in Beijing, you've got Simon Boz and Jessica Cruz dealing with, keeping... Beijing from falling apart. Victor Stone's in New York and he's trying to keep everything under control. Flash has a scene where he's in San Francisco. Really good artwork. Again, the artwork is gorgeous for this book. I cannot fault this for its artwork. Communication kind of breaks a bit and then people start acting weird. They're starting to get mind controlled, but by what? We don't know. Batman finds out that Superman's popping all over the world, saving and doing whatever he can, and apparently Cyborg has a man crush on him. Interesting. Very interesting. So, Batman shows up and these bugs show up, which connects right back to the one-shot, And Aquaman's busy dealing with Atlantis and trying to save his people. Atlantis crumbles, which that looks scary. And then Wonder Woman finds out who is behind all this, and it's the Kindred. And the way the other book ended, the one-shot, is exactly the way this book ended, except instead of as a group, it's just Wonder Woman shouting out, I have friends, and we're coming for you. So a threat's been...
A bold statement.
Yeah, a threat's been thrown onto Earth by the Kindred, and now it's going to be up to the Justice League to team up and take them out. It's very much like the one-shot. I love the artwork in the book. I think the story itself has a lot of potential, but for a first issue, I don't want to say I was, let down per se, but at the same time I was expecting. But we are coming off of Jeff Johns, and Jeff Johns, whenever he comes off a book, we're expecting something that isn't there. And we've yet to have a conclusion to JLA, by the way, also, which I still think it's being delayed even further, which I hope that's not the case. I want to get this stupid book over with. It's one more issue and a one-shot. I don't want a JLA feel. I want a Justice League feel. If you're going to do a JLA book, make a JLA book. If you're going to keep the title Justice League, follow the same pattern that Jeff Johns was setting for Justice League. Because other than the Throne of Atlantis, I've been following Justice League, and I've been really enjoying it. So, the next couple of books we already reviewed on Frontline. So, Batman issue 3, I already reviewed it. I really liked the issue. It was really good. A lot of dialogue, but we got a lot of dialogue in Spider-Man as well. Great background development for Gotham and Gotham Girl. If you'd like to see my review on this, my in-depth review on this, you can go on Comic Frontline. I did issue number 3 of Batman, and I also did issue number 3 of Green Lanterns. In this book, the tables flip, where Simon Boz is actually the jerk, and where Simon Boz isn't the jerk. Simon Boz is actually the focal point, and Jessica Cruz. I have to make sure I don't say Jones, because Jessica Cruz, Jessica Jones,
Jessica Simpson.
Why?
Jessica.
Anyway,
anything?
Alba.
Oh yeah, Jessica Alba.
I didn't show artwork for Batman, so let me show you guys some artwork for Batman really quick, because I did show you guys artwork for all the books. I forgot to do the pull-out. No, that's a pull-out. I forgot the pull-out.
Oh.
I want a good Batman shot. There we go. There's a good Batman shot. So, I gotta remember to deal with this book later. So with Green Lanterns, Simon finally, he and Bleez they get into a fight with Bleez. He's able to possibly heal Bleez. It was really cool. And we also find out that the Guardians on Earth, lots of great stuff happens in this book. Lots of great development. Again, if you'd like to see an in-depth review of this book, check it out on in the solo reviews. I like this book a little bit more. I would say either a little bit more, I would say a little bit more than Batman this time around. I really enjoyed Green Lanterns. I like the development with Simon Boz's character. I like the story. The artwork's really good as well. Only reason Batman is below Green Lanterns is because it switched places with Green Lanterns. This time Green Lanterns moved forward, and Batman was more of a backstory again. But I did like the final page, spoiler alert here, with Psycho Pirate on the last page. This one ended with Jessica Cruz being taken over by the rage of the Hell Tower. You reviewed this also.
Yes,
so.
I reviewed this on Frontline, which is Green Arrow, issue number 3. So now that Oliver Queen is presumed to be dead, it is just only Green Arrow. And I just want to show the artwork to this story.
Oh, that was, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, you didn't do the pull-out either. That's not part of the book.
Yeah, let me just show.
I like the artwork. It looks like a painted artwork.
The artwork is drawn like, I'll show this page. It's like really beautiful artwork. I do have to say that. And it's really just, Green Arrow trying to find the 9 circle. Shadow's in the whole thing we're working with the 9 circle. And there's a whole bunch of plans of taking the Green Arrow's possession, which is of course Black Canary, and there's gonna be a whole bunch of other things that happen. But there were a lot of other things in this book. But if you want to check out the full-fledged review, just check out my solo review right here on Comic Frontline.
All right, this book I did not do a review of, and neither did I of my last book. But anyway, Superman issue number 3. Superman and Lois take John to New 52 Superman's fortress, not his, because Superman needs the technology in order to scan John to see what's going on, and they also meet the Eradicator. Huge fight between Superman and the Eradicator break out because Superman remembers the first time he met the Eradicator and they got into a huge fight, how the Eradicator kind of almost destroyed Superman's life before he got married and before anything. So after the Eradicator saves Lois and John, Superman kind of chills out and figures that the Eradicator isn't a threat. So they scan John's body, and apparently John's body is, the genomes are still, his Kryptonian genomes are fighting the human one, so that's why his powers, his invulnerability is fluctuating, because his body's adapting now to his Kryptonian side. And we get a backstory on the New 52 version of the Eradicator, because apparently this is not the Eradicator from the pre-New 52 universe. This is this world's Eradicator. We get to see Krypto as a dog again.
Oh, Krypto.
And not a gigantic hulking wolf, which I like that a lot. And Eradicator, basically, we go from being friendly back to foe. He wants to basically assimilate John, basically suck him in, and then spit him out, but basically terminate all of his human basically the human traits that he has, and basically John will be 100% Kryptonian. And of course, Krypto jumps in to save the day. I did not like the part with Krypto. I don't think it's permanent, because they actually did show that the Eradicators can undo what he did to Krypto. But I love how John, remembering what happened with the cat in issue 1. Well, let's just say John is not too happy after seeing what happened to Krypto. So John is a humongous animal lover, apparently. So it looks like, Superman and the Eradicator get back into a fight, obviously. And now John is jumping into the mix. I'm excited to see where the next issue goes. I really, really am. Looks amazing. I can't wait to see John kick the Eradicator's ass. And I only have to wait 2 weeks. Not this Wednesday, the following. And I get to see Superman. That's one positive thing I could say about DC doubling up a lot of their books. I don't have to wait too long for the next issues anymore. And it's good because we get more story out. And we get to build things more, quickly. Not quickly, but quicker than a solo book, once a month. Now, I know I complain about Marvel with their double ups. But the one thing that DC did that Marvel didn't. And that's why I always have to defend this point, because a lot of you out there, I know somebody new is going to pop in who was from before and saw me complain about Marvel and is going to be like, Chris, you complained that Marvel doubled up their books, but now you're not complaining about DC. DC lowered their prices on all of their books. All of their books are $2.99 again now. So, yes, it's $6 a month for one series, but think of it this way. It's not $8 a month for one series, and they're not, okay, this is doubling up for 6 months, and this is going to double up another 6 months. It's consistent. All of their main titles are doubled up for now. It's not definite that they're staying that way forever, but they're getting a lot of story out, and they're doing it as cheap as possible. So I have to give DC credit. They lowered the price of their books in order to justify the double up, even though it's still $6 a month. It's only $2 more than what you'd pay for a $3.99 book from Marvel. And Marvel's charging $5 for all their books anyway.
A one-shot I did on this channel also, the Hellblazer Rebirth one-shot, which is a story basically about John Constantine, who is going back to England because there's some stuff there that's been going on. And it has to do with this red stuff right here, which is actually called, I just want to make sure if I said it right, because it's affecting mortal people. Just want to make sure. Well, basically, it's some type of, demon blood that was used to, the supernatural Black Death, thank you, yeah. So, basically, it's affecting, the regular people. I like how Wonder Woman and Shazam appeared in this book, with Swamp Thing, who tells them to stay out of the whole fight between Constantine and this demon. And we get introduced to a new character of Mercury, who actually might play a good character in the following, because this is a setup to the Hellblazer series.
Right, that's starting in, I think, 2 weeks.
Yeah, so I'm on board with that. It looks good, and let's just hope, unlike the New 52, this one will be better.
And finally this week, last one-shot, which was Batgirl and the Birds of Prey, the one shot. Now, while I really, really enjoyed this story, I love the writing in this book. I absolutely did not like the artwork at all. And you'll understand. I would have sworn that Jimmy Durante did the artwork for this book. I mean, Wonder Woman schnoz is way bigger than I'm used to seeing, at least. Did I say Wonder Woman or Batgirl? I said Batgirl.
You said Wonder Woman.
I said Wonder
Woman.
Woman.
Actually, I was about to say, wait a minute.
Batgirl's schnoz is way bigger than it's supposed to be, and it kind of gets better as the book goes on with the noses, but the artwork is still... but I don't think this artist is the one that's on the book. Here, I'll show you schnoz Batgirl. Because really, there's nothing much to speak when it comes to the artwork here. But anyway, Batgirl takes out these criminals. This book takes place after the first story arc of Batgirl, which I think is really bad, and I'm going to explain why. So basically, this book happens after the first arc of Batgirl. This book came out before Batgirl's one-shot, before Batgirl issue number 1, before anything. This book would have been better to have taken and put out in September, and taken one of the books from September and put that out now, like Trinity or Super Sons or something. And it would have been better to hold off on this book, because now this takes place after the first story arc. Now I'm going to see when Batgirl is supposed to come out in August. Batgirl, I think maybe she's the first week. No, she's not. No, Batgirl's and the Birds of Prey comes out August 17th. Maybe it's the last week of July, Batgirl's one-shot. Or Batgirl issue 1 comes out, because I see Batgirl and the Birds of Prey issue 1, and then the following week I see Batgirl issue number 2. Which makes no sense, because that would mean Batgirl would have to be here. And it's not. That's weird.
Anyway,
I don't want to sit around and figure that out. But anyway, that's the one downside is I don't... Well, then again, it might not connect enough where it matters. Because obviously she's soul-searching. Anyway, she comes back to Gotham, and she takes out these burglars, and then she sees the person that set this up was a person called Oracle. And then, for those of you that have no clue about what happened to Barbara Gordon, about getting paralyzed, shot by the Joker, and then how she miraculously was healed, it gives you a full rundown of the time where, from the moment where the Killing Joke happened, where she got shot and paralyzed, to when she put together the Birds of Prey, which was her, and Black Canary, where she did all the tech stuff, and Black Canary did all of the brawn part. She was the brains, and Black Canary was the brawn. She was able to stand. I like the symbolism with the bird flying away and the empty chair. And Black Canary and her separated when Barbara Gordon was able to walk again, because Black Canary felt that Barbara didn't need her anymore. So the Birds of Prey disbanded. However, now somebody's stolen Batgirl's other alter identity. So she goes to Dia, I think that's how you say her name, and basically wants to put the Birds of Prey back together to find out who stole Oracle and take them down. Also, we get a little bit of Helena here, the Huntress, and it turns out Helena is going to be taking out the Mafia that Batgirl and Black Canary are chasing to get answers about the Oracle. So Batgirl obviously did some homework. She knows who to talk to. This guy called Toroni, which I love how Black Canary is just continually making fun of his name and calling him Pepperoni. But they end up getting to him, but so does Huntress. It becomes this huge fight. Huntress not only screams out Black Canary's real name, but she also screams out Batgirl's real name. Now, we all know that Huntress worked for Spiral. Spiral knew all the identities to almost all of the superheroes. So she knew who Black Canary and Batgirl are. And this sparks a humongous fight, and it turns out that the person who looks like a guy, there are a lot of speculation behind who Oracle is, but he's, or she, if it could be a she, I don't want to say yet, but Oracle's looking on nonetheless, and Oracle knows what's coming. And it's going to be up to Batgirl and the Birds of Prey to find out who this new Oracle is. If this person's a good person, a bad person, will Oracle be working with them? Who knows? But I like the story in the first issue, not so much the artwork. So hopefully the artwork will change by the time Batgirl and the Birds of Prey. Maybe I'm wrong and Batgirl comes out next week. I'll die. Maybe. If it comes out on Wednesday. Because Batgirl 2 is coming out at the end of August. It makes sense. There's still one more week in July, 2-1. Who knows? See, we don't order from Midtown anymore. We order DCBS, which is a monthly order. So we just literally order the books, and it's been 2 months since the order for this month. So I already don't remember what we're getting. I get surprised myself when they come in the mail.
Indeed.
So, anyway, it's going to come next week. I know it now. I know there's like a million people in the comments already saying Batgirl comes out next week. Batgirl comes out next week. By the time this uploads, I'll know. So you don't have to worry. I'll find out. But anyway, speaking of the comments, in the comments below, let us know what books you guys read this week and what you liked, what you didn't like. Did you agree with the stuff that we said here about the books that we reviewed? Do you disagree? Why? What was your favorite books? Your top fives? Tonight, because this is going up probably Tuesday morning, early afternoon, tonight, Frontline Live, we will be doing our top five. So bring your top fives to Frontline Live, but don't mind. We don't mind seeing somebody talking about their favorite books of the week. So feel free, if you'd like to talk about a book you enjoyed. Again, if you agree or disagree with us, feel free to comment below. Love hearing from you guys. Love your feedback. Any recommendations for books that you guys have, feel free to leave them below, and we'll see what we can do. We get recommendations all the time. We try to do as much as we can. So let us know in the comments below your favorite books for the week of July 20th, 2016. Comic Frontline, we are your #1 source for comic-related news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. If you haven't subbed to us yet, hopefully you will. This way we're in your sub box, and you will not miss out on a single video. Videos go up daily on Comic Frontline. Also, don't forget to check out comicfrontline.com. Lots of articles going up on a very regular basis as well. Any individual channel stuff you'd like to see, go over to frontline.com. All of our tabs are there. If you'd like to go, if you're on YouTube right now, you can go to the Frontline main channel page. List of our channels are right there. So next week, we've got the week of July 27th, the last week of July. Got a nice amount of books. We're still pushing full steam ahead on DC Rebirth. Hopefully things are getting better for Marvel at some point. Probably not anytime soon. We got a lot of really great indie books that we're reading as well. I'm looking forward to next week. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let us know, like I said, in the comments below. Till next time, everybody, take care. Keep reading. Keep collecting. And we'll see you guys next week for episode 352.
As well as the Frontline Live show.
As well as tonight's Frontline Live show, and as well as on Friday, Dark Avenger Live, which is still on my channel, but will be here on Comic Frontline starting the 3rd week of November. Remember that, everybody. Take care, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.